Is this thing on? Okay. How you doing there? I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. These are my reviews for week 2. Let me get a hell yeah, brother. Week 2, another weird one for the fucking Bengals. What is going on? I guess statistically, throughout history, the losing team in the Super Bowl has not made it back to a winning record, or I'm sorry, to the postseason the following year. At this rate, it looks like the same shit's going on for the Bengals this year with Joe Burrow and them. I personally think that Joe Burrow should have just not played weeks 1 and 2, maybe 3. The division's stacked, but everybody is 1 and 1, or a couple teams are 2 and 0. But for them, it really, they're still in it. Every team theoretically is still in it. My fantasy teams are still in it, even though I'm 0 and 2 in 2 leagues, 1 and 1 in another league. With that said, looks like Burrow's just not comfortable. They spent some money, with the new bodyguard coming to town and bullshit like that with the O-line. He's got Higgins, and Higgins is looking like he did the rookie year before Chase came in. Things were looking good between those two. Mixon can't get the ground game going, so there's not going to be much of a pass game. Burrow's still throwing like 40, 50 times a game, and Mixon's still running the ball like 15 times a game. That's, I guess, good. I would like to see my running back getting 20 carries a game and the quarterback throwing 20-plus times a game. There's just not much going for them. I'm not worried about Burrow. I'm not worried about the Bengals. Again, if anything, he's going to have like a Palmer career over there and get the fuck out of Dodge at some point. If he takes a big paycheck, I believe that's going to be the case in a couple of years. Not a couple as in like 2. I mean like 5 to 10, whatever. By the time he's 30 years old, he will probably not be a Bengal if they're not getting any farther. They could theoretically lock him, Chase, Higgins up. You don't want to see Higgins leave. I know people are like, well, we're going to keep Chase. Well, you don't want to see Higgins leave either. He leaves and goes to a team. He's a number 1 anywhere you go. You have 2 number 1s on your team right now, clearly through rookie contracts. So not much to worry about at the moment. I'm not worried about the Bengals at the moment. Chiefs, Patrick's they're looking like the Chiefs. I think it was kind of a bullshit game, in my opinion, on the Chargers-Chiefs game. I think that inexperience and that youth of Justin Herbert was shown, though, when he was rushing everybody after Everett got him all the way down to the 1, and Herbert throws that interception to Everett, who was calling for a sub at the time, but Herbert ignored it and just was trying to keep pressure on the defense. I understand that. But you have to be aware, in my opinion, as a quarterback, of all situations on the field, not just, what your defense is doing or what the defense is doing and what your team plans to do, what your plan of attack is. He also, I think he could have ran the ball in, or he could have just threw it over their head and stopped the clock. Again, that's that youth and that's that experience that he doesn't have that he is, learning. Outside of that, fantasy was weird for me. I was playing against Waddle. I was playing against Hill. I was playing against Michael Thomas. I was playing against a couple other guys that did absolutely fucking nothing until the third, fourth quarter. And the third quarter, the witching hour just got me this week. I was projected to win 2 of the 3 leagues. Then I had Derrick Henry. He was a disappointment. I love my Bills. I love the way the game went for the Bills' favor, but for fantasy reasons, I could not stand. I'm just pounding the shit out of them. I think Malik Willis, like I said in a podcast 4 or 5 weeks ago, whatever it was, when we were looking at this, when training camp and preseason was going on, that Malik Willis would be at some point the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. I believe I said Ritter would be by week 4 or 6, or I have them mixed up. Here we are. I know Malik Willis isn't named the starter right now, But I can tell you right now, if Tannehill has another game like he's had the past 2 games and he doesn't get his shit together against Oakland this week, Malik Willis might be the starter by week 4 or 5. Marcus Mariota, for some reason, still just does not target Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman was out. Kyle Pitts, I get Drake London. He looked great. And I know that's why they drafted him with the probably departure of Ridley. But Mariota's got to figure it out, man. You don't got one guy. And the Falcons were close to the Rams. I almost took the Rams -10. You guys know this from the last podcast. I ended up not taking them -10. I actually just took them in a parlay to win the game because I just felt like it was a trap. I believe they were in Atlanta. When you get those West Coast teams traveling east, or the NFC, the Midwest teams traveling south, typically the people in the South, Florida, Atlanta, Carolina, those different the environments. You got different time zones. You have way different weather. You have, you go to Miami and you're a great team coming, if the Green Bay Packers, I'm just saying, we're 3-0 and they were playing Miami this week in Miami, I'm taking Miami all day. Even with Aaron Rodgers and them being undefeated, it wouldn't matter because of the way, they're playing the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're not ready for that heat. It's still going to be 100 degrees out there. It's still going to be humid as a motherfucker out there. I'm sure there might be a chance of rain or whatever, but all of those elements factor into these games, in my opinion. Excuse me, still got that fucking cough. So anyways, let's look at a few highlights. Here you go, Hunter Renfrow. Boom. I don't own the rights to this. I don't know. This is the NFL's thing. I'm just using some clips to fast forward. This game was fucking outrageous. I was streaming it on my phone. I was working an event, and I had Marquise Brown, and if the touchdown was not taken away, I would have won my fantasy fucking week. But they called him down at the quarter-yard line. I don't know if the Vegas odds were in the favor. If Vegas was telling these refs, we got heavy hitters on Arizona money line. We need Vegas to pull it off. They were trying everything they could for Vegas, and Vegas should have won the game. But as you've seen, Hunter Renfrow was trying for those extra yards, and you see it time after time. That's usually how these fucking guys end up fumbling or giving away the game. They won't go down. They want to fight for the extra yards. It was 2nd and 10. He didn't even have to fight for the extra yards. He was just about, there? And he just had to sit down, just like Nick Chubb. He ran into the end zone, scored that 3rd touchdown. It gave Joe Flacco and the Jets all the time to go down the field, score, and win the game. It's fucking outrageous. The couple first 2 weeks here, but have been absurd. And not to take anything against Carolina and Baker Mayfield, I think they're figuring things out and getting their feet under them. The Giants are 2-0. No, Monday Night Football against the Cowboys. We'll get into that later on a bet spread. I just picked up in fantasy the Cowboys D. I dropped the Packers D. I'm kind of torn. I've been torn all yesterday and this morning about it. Like I said, Green Bay. If Lazard and Cobb and Dobbs, Aaron Jones, Dillon, they theoretically on paper will have a better offense against the Tampa Bay Bucks in Tampa Bay because Evans is suspended because he was fucking up that loser in New Orleans. I'm blanking on his dumbass name, Lattimore. I love that Mike Evans mentality. He hates that motherfucker. They battle, but he will beat the shit out of him, and he was trying to because he wanted to run his mouth against the GOAT, TB12, and everybody else. He wouldn't shut the fuck up, and Evans had enough of it and stood up for his quarterback, who was starting to get in Lattimore's face too. That's his job. Protect your quarterback, right? That's your main man right there. I get it. You lost. They're probably gonna lose the game, I think. this week to the Packers, even though the Packers have to travel. But I mean, you're relying on Perriman, Scotty Miller, Leonard Fournette, No Bernard, the rookie running back. I don't know what Tom's going to do. I just feel like the Packers defense will be slowed down because of the elements of the game being in Tampa. Let's fast forward this a little bit. Carson Wentz came back, really tried to do it. This game was fucking outrageous. I played against Lamar Jackson. I couldn't believe what I saw. And you know the bitch of it is I could have picked up Tua in my league, but I played I kept Aaron Rodgers. I didn't want to pick up Tua because he was available for a reason in my league, and everybody has a good quarterback or two. And I had Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron was going to come bounce back against the Bears, which he did. They took another touchdown away from him. And that's the same league I should have won with the Marquise Brown touchdown. So either of those two get the touchdowns that they should have had. And I know I'm being biased because I had him, but I legit thought you were giving Brown that touchdown. He rolled on top of him. Whatever. Stupid fucking game. Stupid officiating. Anyways, this game was outrageous. This was probably the most entertaining game of the year. So, I mean, clearly so far, only 2 weeks in. But the New Orleans Saints-Bucks game was fucking stupid. Nobody wanted to watch that shit, just like nobody wanted to watch the Packers and the Bears on Sunday night. Let's be real. I didn't. It should have been a noon game. This game was awesome. As you guys know, I took the Dolphins. I took this over last week. Last week has been a great week for me on the betting aspect of it. I doubled the money I lost the week before, so I'm up. I'm positive, and I cashed almost everything out except for like $70. So now I got $70 to play with. BetMGM has a sign-up thing if you bet $10 on the game for Monday night. Took the Vikings. I just thought maybe Kirk was going to break that curse of like 2-37 in primetime games. And I just kind of felt like you had to bet $10 to get $200 in essentially bet credits. And so I deposited $10. I was up on my DK account. I cashed everything out of DK except for $5 that I put 2 ridiculous parlays out for the Monday Night Football games. And they were like $2 to win $150 and $3 to win like $600. It was an absolute awful parlay to try. And I think like 2 of them hit, which clearly that's why it was a $2 parlay to win thousands of dollars. Anyways, great week for me betting. I took the Dolphins. I took this over. I actually thought the game was going to be much closer in the beginning. I thought it would be like 14-21 or like 24-14, somewhere around there. And I thought it was going to be Miami leading Baltimore because of where they were. I thought Baltimore would kind of come back the second half and shut it down. Now, I saw this come out in the first opening kick, boom, return. I said, there we go. Unfortunately, it was Baltimore, but I still had Miami on the money line. I didn't take them with the points. I took them on the money line. Anyways, this game was fucking awesome again. Shout out to the fucking Lions, man. They held it down. I took the Lions over Washington. Carson Wentz made me shit in my pants. The Lions defense seems to they seem to click for, I don't even want to say half the game, but at least a fourth of the game. Their defense is clicking. Recently, you saw it with the Eagles. They shut them down after getting blown out for a little bit, and Jared Goff leading them back. This week I picked up Jared Goff to stream against the Vikings. It's probably a trap, and I'm going to get screwed because that's just my luck in fantasy. I kind of want to take the Lions to win the game too, but I don't love anything this week like I did last week. So anyway, Swift, these guys, they crushed it for a lot of people. There you go, Waddle and Tyreek Hill, unreal games. Tua Tagovailoa, unreal fucking. Tua made everybody that hates Tua appreciate Tua. Everyone wanted to bitch right off the bat that Tua threw that interception when Tyreek Hill overran his route and didn't break in time. The ball was a laser. It was perfect. It had to be right where it was, but the DB was the only one that was turned around waiting for Tyreek Hill to make that break. He knew something was coming. It looked like a curl route. He fucking stopped. The ball was perfect. If Hill was turned earlier, he would have had the ball before the DB because the DB was still backing up with him. And I love that people just couldn't admit that he was Tua went off. I love it. Lamar, he went off too, but they couldn't seal the deal. You had James Robinson. I took the Jags on the money line last minute on Saturday. I wasn't where I should have been here, so I had to have my buddy log into my account, pop in a couple bets for me. Took the Jags on the money line, took the Jags and the Texans on a parlay with the Texans plus 10.5, and then I took the Texans plus 10, which was the points. So I hit those in a row. Then I hit the over of this game, the Dolphins-Ravens. Then I hit the Dolphins on the money line. I hit a couple other ones, and it was a good day. And then, I was up a little bit of dough, so I threw it on that Packers-Bears, even though we looked at the schedule from last year, and it hit the under hit and then the over hit. I kind of had a feeling that would happen just because it's the rivalry, play defense, but I did think that the Bears would at least get 14 points. Some Bear fans will argue that Justin Fields was in. I didn't see any evidence of him breaking the line with the ball, but you could see his arms. I cannot complain that that was the call. I can only complain that the fucking call was you running a QB sneak fucking 5 yards behind the line where you had to push. Justin Fields, it's one of those times where Justin has to know what the right call is, and Montgomery got you all the way down the field. Montgomery's the only reason why the Bears moved the ball, outside of Herbert, but Herbert's not the number one that was in there every play. He was in there when Montgomery was running for 30 yards and needed a break. Then Herbert came in, ran for 5 to 10 yards. Then Montgomery came. We were probably all watching the game. Aaron, I knew the Packers would score 20-plus points. I just had that feeling. I probably should have put that on the bet versus the over, thinking Green Bay is going to – I didn't even think they would cover. I just thought it was going to be a closer game. I thought for sure it could be like 31-21 or something. I said all I need is 14 points from the Bears, and they couldn't do it. Even if they hit 13, I still would not have hit the over. I believe it's 22-10 right now for total games. Yeah, 22-10, I believe, is the unders are hitting 22-10 right now versus last year was outrageous by now. I think like 8 games didn't hit the over last year. Anyways, again, with all this said, this game was awesome. This was probably the game of the day. You can see Bateman, Andrews. Trevor Lawrence looked great. I took the Colts because statistically they have always beat the Colts, but before I knew that, and my girl's brother hit me up to tell me that, I just liked the fact that Trevor Lawrence was at home and that Colts had to travel to Florida. That was just it. That was the whole thing, just like when you got to go to Miami, just like when you got to go to Tampa, and you're playing outdoors, and it's the middle of the summer, or their winter, if you will. That's the only reason why I took the Jags. I thought Christian Kirk is shutting everyone up that said he was overpaid. Trevor Lawrence was looking comfortable. James Robinson's back to his old self. You don't need Travis Etienne. I can see them getting rid of Etienne. I'm sorry. Or just not picking his fifth-year option up or something like that. He's not crucial to the team. They have Evan Ingram, too. They have a couple other guys out there that are better options. And clearly, James Robinson just came back from torn Achilles, and he's running for a 60-yard touchdown and fucking putting his head down and run through people. So the Jets came back, won this game. There you go. Boom. Huge play. Joe Flacco, guys, top 3 leading in yards, if not number 1, or 2 is number 1. Joe Flacco is in the top 3. It was unbelievable to see Joe Flacco the way he did. I still think that Joe's going to have some good flashy games, stuff like that, just like Goff will, but I don't think he's going to finish top 10 quarterbacks. Jared Goff's out here looking like he's having fun. To me, Jared Goff needs to look like he's having fun and needs to have fun. Otherwise, he's just miserable and doesn't want to play like last year. I don't know. He looks like he's enjoying his time in Detroit right now more than he was and more than he will be. The Lions are a tricky team this year. Like I said, they're going to have more wins than the Bears. This game, Kyler was magical. We all know that. Jimmy Garoppolo comes in with Trey Lance breaking his fucking ankle. People were bitching that it was Shanahan's fault. They drafted Lance because he is a utility quarterback. They drafted him to play the option, the RPOs, the bootlegs, to be mobile. They can still do bootlegs and such with Jimmy G, but he's not as fast on the perimeter. He's not as fast getting out of the pocket and mobile. He's mobile, but he takes a higher risk of getting injured as well as we have seen. I get it. His postseason stats are not the best, but at the end of the day, Jimmy G is going to get you to the postseason. Lance is the experiment for the future, assuming his raw talent, like we talked about, will get him there. You can't go lose to the Bears and go meet with the press and an hour later be at a fucking strip club and expect to be a great quarterback. That's the whole reason why I'm not on the Lamar hype. He doesn't give a fuck outside of off the field. He's just fucking worried about everything other than football when he's off the field. When Tom Brady wanted to win a Super Bowl, he won a Super Bowl, and the next day he was back out, after the parade, after having his fun for the first week, or I think it was like 3 or 4 days he gave himself, and then he was right back to fucking on the field. No more drinking, maybe a couple glasses of wine, he said, throughout the year. No more partying, eating clean, and back fucking throwing balls to somebody. We saw it with Tampa when he brought fucking Head Case Brown out. We've seen it his whole career. We kind of seen that with Aaron Rodgers a little bit here and there, but now he's kind of getting into the media type of life, I feel like. But I can't hate Aaron Rodgers. He seems like he's a fucking cool dude, whatever. But you've seen him doing some, like, golfing and stuff like that. Even Mahomes. You don't hear much of Mahomes off the field. Outside of his dumb fucking wife and his nagging-ass mother that need to shut the fuck up, and his fucking doofus-ass brother rubbing his nipples on TikTok. Mahomes is only hateable because of those 3 assholes in his life. Mahomes will always be considered, if you will, baby goat or whatever. He has the Super Bowl. Credit Andy Reid. Credit the defense. Credit him. He didn't lose it. Jimmy G had every opportunity. I think he got outcoached they got outcoached personally, and now Jimmy G's back in here, and he's going to take his team back again to the playoffs, probably win the first postseason game, assuming Lance isn't there, yada, yada, yada. Seahawks, we knew they were going to look abysmal, I feel like, against them. This game was fucking outrageous. This game, Tony P, outrageous. The Bengals out of fucking sync. Wild week. My fantasy got shit on. I'm sure a lot of other guys got shit on. Let's go back here. The Bills whomped the fucking Titans, by the way. We beat the fuck out of them. And I didn't want to put money on the -10 because that game is always very close. The Titans beat them. The Bills looked like the Bills should have been the number 1 team last year, or top 3, 4. They lose to the Titans. This year it's always a crazy division rival conference, whatever matchup between these two. So that's why I don't love taking those spreads like -10 as much as I wanted to see the Bills beat the shit out of them. I also had Derrick Henry that I needed to have 20 points, and I was playing against Singletary that I needed to have 0 points. It's hard to bet. I mean, clearly you're betting with your heart, and you're also fighting against your heart at that point because it's your team, it's your guys. You want to see them win. You want to see them beat the shit out of the Titans because you want to make sure the AFC is on notice. It happens. Steelers Browns. Let's get into it. Make this quick. Steelers Browns. Hate the game. I want to see Mitch in this. Here's the other thing. Back to the Steelers real quick. Matt Canada is the biggest moron, or he just is following what Matt Nagy was doing because they want to try and shape Pickett into coming into this. In my opinion, the Steelers have still one of the top defenses. They have one of the best coaches in the league. You know, clearly in our generation, he's one of the better coaches, winning seasons all the time. They could win with Mitch, but they just fucking make him sit in the pocket. They don't have any plays. Najee Harris, Mitch, Deontay Johnson, and one of their guards called out Matt Canada because he is calling plays like Matt Nagy with the Denny's menu, fucking screen passes behind, sweeps, getting nowhere. Deontay Johnson's pissed. He wants the ball down the field. He knows Mitch can throw the ball down the field. He wants the pocket to move so everybody can create separation and so Mitch can find an open guy or run for the first down or just get a couple of yards. Or have Najee Harris fucking catching balls out of the backfield. They were chanting Pickett. Mitch took him down and scored a touchdown to Pat Freiermuth. It's one of those things as a Bears fan that has been in their shoes. Your coach and the calling on the field is going to reflect more on the outcome of the game than the quarterback's play. It sounds stupid the way I said that. You can have, I'm just using an example. You can have Tom Brady out there, and if they're calling these dumb fucking plays, and Tom knows it and he's not audibling, whatever the case may be, people would still fucking shit on Tom Brady. Take away his accolades and all that kind of shit. They would still shit on him. They would want some backup in, like right now in Tampa Bay. They'd be probably like he should have retired. If they were 0-2 and the play calling was stupid and it wasn't giving Mike Evans the ball or Leonard Fournette the ball. If you take those two out of the equation and make Tom Brady, they made him go on the run. They made Tom Brady into a bootleg type of quarterback. People would be calling for Tom Brady to retire. He should have been in the booth. My point is, Matt Canada, nobody even likes the fucking guy. He's the offensive coordinator. He's been calling shitty plays. Even Steelers fans know it with fucking Big Ben the past 2 years, or last year. Now you got him this year with doing the same shit with Mitch. You got a big division matchup right here. You got a big game. You got the Browns, who are going to miss 4 of their key starters, including Clowney. And you got the Steelers, who can't get any momentum on offense because they ran the ball 5 times with Najee Harris. I don't even have Najee Harris in fantasy. I wanted to draft him. He was a keeper in the league. The people that have him were bitching so much that he wasn't getting the ball and saying that Trubisky sucks. Trubisky sucks. He has 1.3 seconds to throw the ball because their line is terrible and the play calling is atrocious. This is one of those times Mitch needs to wake up, use his fucking balls, and tell him, this is the plays I like. Figure it out. Or this is all part of the NFL narrative for the Steelers to sell tickets and jerseys to see Pickett come out and play. That's why I hate money being involved in the sports in general, because you got guys that, the good old boys in the club, they listen to what they're supposed to. They listen to Goodell, Vegas, whomever has a fucking piece of the pie is going to be running the show. Mitch is just going to sit there and they're going to run him out of town, and he's probably going to get a backup job. Pickett is not good. I mean, I watched the preseason. He's playing against 4th fucking stringers who aren't even in the NFL now. They're not even on practice squads. The guys he was beating aren't even in the NFL anymore. And you had a rookie wide receiver who was a top 10, who's a top 5 wide receiver come out of the draft. You have a good tight end. Benny Snell, he's a veteran. That's not great. You didn't have defensive ends and outside linebackers and tackles that or linebackers for that matter, that are even in the NFL anymore that were pressuring Pickett. When he steps on the field and this line plays as bad as it does for Mitch, he's going to get killed. And then people are going to be pissed off that Mitch didn't just stay in for the year knowing they can finish 500, maybe push for the wild card spot depending on what the records are in their division, and just let it go. It's an experiment for 1 year. That's why they signed Mitch. I'm not even on the Mitch, like, as much as I support the guy and like the guy, I'm not even trying to support him in the fact that he should be, elite or something. He shouldn't. I still think he can win you a playoff game. I mean, he fucking pretty much did win it for the Bears, except for dumbass misses the kick. Outside of all that, it's a fucking headache for Pittsburgh fans because some of them are like, dude, this is bad. Play calling sucks. We suck. Line sucks. Mitch sucks. Then you got guys that are just like, no, dude, if we just put Pickett in, we'll win. No, you won't. What? I get it. You want this guy to come in and do something, but sorry, I don't see that happening. Browns are missing key players. Brissett's not looking terrible. You got Nick Chubb. You got Kareem Hunt. I might take Kareem Hunt to score any time this week. I don't love this game. I actually hate this game. I would say I like the over of 38.5, but I could see this game being like 17-10. I can see this game being 17-10. Mitch throws for 185 yards and 1 touchdown. And Brissett throws 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Something like that. And then you got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt that are going to score like on a run. Kareem Hunt, I think, will score maybe the first touchdown pass on a pitch or a pass. Not as a run. Steelers, I just see Fitzpatrick getting an interception. I can see Brissett getting 1 or 2 interceptions this game. Possibly Mitch throwing 1, but I see Mitch just not having the yards and touchdowns and throwing just, 20 for 32 and, like I said, 180 plus yards and 1 touchdown. That's what I could see his stats being. I don't like this game at all. I fucking hate it. I don't like this Ravens-Pats game. I actually had the over in my parlay earlier. A lot of people seem to be liking the over right now. It kind of is a trap to me because the Ravens just scored 35 points, and they let up what they did. I just don't see them letting up that many points to the Patriots. So I took the over out of my parlay on this. I think the Ravens win. I think Mac Jones is trash. I think the Ravens win. I don't know if they cover 3 points, but I do think they win. You could see people are starting to take them because odds going up, and now they're back down. So the Bills-Dolphins game, I think the over in this game is a trap because of what the Bills just did. But, again, they're going to Miami. The Dolphins, I could see them losing this game, but close, like 2 points. So if I were to take the Dolphins at all, I would take them with the points. People are hammering the Bills to cover 4.5, then 5.5, and now it's 6. I don't love they're getting 6 points, Dolphins. I would probably take them. I don't think the Bills blow them out of the water, but I was just wrong again with the Titans game, and I'm a fan. I think the Bills win. Money line's too steep for me to just be like, yeah, I think the Bills are going to win guaranteed. I'm going to put minus 247. I just don't like that. I don't like the over. Everyone's pounded on the over. Some people were taking the under, which is why it's dropping now. After that big blowout with the Dolphins and Bills, I expect the offense to slow down. I could see Josh Allen having to run for a touchdown this time. I could see Diggs having his 1 touchdown. Gabe Davis is back. I could see him. Maybe Cook gets in the end zone for the first time this year over Singletary and them on like a pitch or something, a running back screen. But I can see it being more of we got to keep an eye on Tyreek Hill, and we'll get our best guy on Waddle. So you double team Tyreek Hill, you get your best guy on Waddle. Try and do everything you can to disrupt the passing game with Tua. He's been so good, and that's my little thoughts on that game. The Bengals-Jets. I took the Bengals again, -7. Dickheads. I kind of like the over for this game. Jets are putting up points, man. I'm going to start Garrett Wilson and see what's going on with him this week. I mean, I benched him last week. If I didn't, I would have won my 2 leagues. I would have smoked the teams by 20 points plus. I literally lost by like 5 and then 18. So 12 and 25 I'd have won by. I do like the over. I don't want to even touch the Bengals right now. I really don't. If this goes back down to like 4, maybe, but they're going to New York. Jets, I mean, they're trying, man. They're trying to do something there, and Flacco is trying to make sure he can play fucking football, and he clearly can. He's still airing it out. When he's got protection, he's got every ability, like everybody else in the league, to throw the ball down the field. Saints-Panthers, hate this game. I played Taysom Hill last week in tight end, John, and with Kamara out, with Winston's back injuries, all that kind of shit, I figured maybe he gets a couple snaps or a goal line rush, blah, blah, blah. And that game sucked. I don't even want to touch base on it anymore. Panthers, Saints. Panthers are looking for their first win. I could see them getting their first win at home right here against the Saints. I kind of like the Panthers on the money line, and I kind of do like this over because of the Saints being so abysmal offensively. I had Landry going in another league too. I might start him this week just because of the Panthers, but the Panthers' defense isn't terrible. They're going to click at one point. Let's not forget, like Flo said, last week at this time, Sam Darnold was an MVP candidate, number 1. He was the number 1 candidate to win MVP. So things are going to change drastically in the next couple of weeks here. I think you didn't play the Bengals, Burrow, and them through all the preseason. Those teams are still like in preseason form, getting their feet under them. They know they have way more weeks ahead of them to have things happen. That last week game that they've added, it could be huge for some teams. I like maybe the Panthers +3. I kind of like them on the money line to win the game. I think Baker could get them the offense clicking. I might take them to score over 20 points. I know the Saints defense is what it is, but they're going to Carolina, man, and they're going to play outdoors, and it's going to be hot. This is not New Orleans inside a dome. So you got to take those things in consideration. Lions, Vikings. This game is going to be great. Everybody loves the over. I don't, but I think the Vikings can pull it off. Not covering, though. So I might take the Lions +6. I might take them on the money line. I'm not sure yet. I don't love this game. I don't love the over. I think it's kind of a trap because of the Lions' past couple weeks on what they were giving up on defense to the two teams, with Carson Wentz in the later half and the Eagles in the first half of the game. And then their defense, if their defense gets it locked down, I mean, you just got to cover JJ, and you got to figure Thielen and Irv Smith are going to get the ball. Cook needs to get the ball. He needs to cook. The Lions, though, are kind of like a throw-up, and I hate the Vikings, too, for that reason. I think Justin Jefferson and Cook are the main guys, so at this point in time, I'm just thinking, man, I don't love these games. They know what the fuck they're doing, like the books. Chiefs-Colts, I would have taken the Chiefs -3. Clearly, everybody was taking them. I don't love them -6.5. But I might cheat it down to -5.5. They're going to Indy. They're 2-0. They just won an Arrowhead against Justin Herbert in the Chargers. But Herbert got hurt. We saw that. Chiefs defense is no joke. I have Matt Ryan. I just dropped him. He's a fucking bum. Like I said, a couple podcasts ago, if not the last one, Matt Ryan might be on his fucking way out. I thought he still had something left in the tank. Clearly, he doesn't because he can't fucking throw. He's throwing the ball into the ground. He's not getting out of the pocket. He's not finding the open receiver. Everyone wants to bitch that Michael Pittman wasn't there. Jonathan Taylor's barely getting the ball. What is going on? Is because they lost their key man, like coaching staff. Like, he's not doing so much better on the Bears. I mean, maybe their defense is looking better, but still not. The Bears still aren't good. So I can't say it's the coaching change and all that. I can't say I'm just blaming Matt Ryan. I think he's fucking done. I think Phillip Rivers, when he went there, had more potential and more athleticism, more left in the tank to win than Matt Ryan does currently. I take the Chiefs -6 maybe. Not touching the money line. A lot of people are taking the under on this. I might like the over based on the fact that the Colts they might try and get it going at home. If Pittman Jr.'s back, if Jonathan Taylor could get it going, if Mo Alley Cox starts getting some targets like Kyle Pitts was last year, the Colts can be in business. And we know the Chiefs are going to put up points. 50 is not impossible. I like that. Fucking Chiefs are probably going to win like 35-14, though. Watch. Maybe I cheated down. We'll see. I might throw out a parlay like that. Raiders-Titans. Raiders are going to win this game. Unless, actually, no, I'm sorry. The Titans are at home. Raiders got to travel. What's up? And Derrick Henry's got to get going. I think Derrick Henry gets going this game against the Raiders. So, but I think the Raiders will put up some points. So maybe like the over on this. Kind of like the Titans on the money line. The Raiders, I don't really think they're there. I think it's all about Adams, and they should have won the last game. I get it. Waller's not really, I feel like, seeing the ball as much as people would like to see him getting the ball. A lot of teams still haven't clicked yet of what they got on offense. So I'm kind of looking at it like, fuck it. Titans might have that game finally that they're gonna show with that powerhouse. I mean, Burks, right? The wide receiver they drafted, he looked great against the Bills, but he's the only one that got the ball. I mean, Robert Woods got it. That was one of my parlays. Robert Woods to score a touchdown anytime. What's up? Sick cat. Eagles, Commanders, Redskins, whatever. For all you people bitching at me, I call them the Commanders. Trap game of the year, I feel like. Washington, Wentz, he's putting up points, 47.5. Everyone anticipates it being a defensive battle. I could see the upset of Washington beating the Eagles because it's that division game. Anything can happen. I mean, they're really bad. But I don't know if I mean, if you couldn't get the Eagles at -2.5, -6.5 is a stretch to me. So maybe you do just take the points. I don't like that game at all. I think it's going to be a big test for the Eagles. Texans, Bears. I took the Texans. I think the Texans are going to beat the Bears straight up. So you take them with the points or not. I think Davis Mills and them will get their first win. Bears will be 1-2. Texans will be 1-1. And here we go with the Jags Chargers. This game, to me, too, they have Trevor Lawrence. They think on fantasy and everything, he's going to be fantastic this week. Chargers defense is really good. They're at home. I could see them winning by 7. People are taking the Jags +10. That's fair. But I could see the Chargers winning by like 9. And I don't think the Jags are terrible. I think they'll hold their own for a little bit, but it's just they're in LA. I think the Chargers will pull it off and cover the 7, 6.5. I could see them winning by 9. Packers, Bucks. Hate this game. We just talked about it. I hate that the Bucks have nobody. It's kind of even now. That means everyone was taking the Packers +3, which I don't blame them. I think the public money Packers +3 was the move. I don't like them getting like even now. I don't like it as a PK. Falcons, Seahawks. This game's fucking awful. For some reason, everyone's taking the Falcons to win, and they're taking them people are taking the Seahawks -2, but people were telling me they like the Falcons to win. I don't like this game at all, but I know that they have really bad defense in Atlanta that they're kind of hoping on. I hope that Kyle Pitts gets going on this game. Mariota needs to wake the fuck up. If he doesn't, Ritter's coming in. I might take the over on this game. I don't like either team to win. I don't know much. I don't watch either of them. I know Geno's trying to get something going. Never know. They got some good running game going in Seattle. Kind of the same with the Falcons with Patterson. You got Drake London, who had a great game. I think people are kind of going off a limb there and just saying he's going to have another great game. Mariota will target him. He needs to spread the ball around for them to win the game. I don't like that. I don't like that matchup at all, and I usually like those overs. I kind of like 42, but not really. Rams, Cardinals. Everyone's liking this fucking under. They're in Arizona. The Rams are going to pound them. The Cardinals are going to put up points because they just are. I can totally see the over happening at 48.5 now. I don't like the Cardinals to win the game. And the Rams played a really close game against the Falcons, so that one I don't like to touch. I don't really like any of these games. I don't love them. But Niners, Broncos, I took the Niners with the Texans on a parlay. I just like the Niners to win. And Broncos, I think, suck. I don't care if they're home. 44.5. Boys, Giants. Game's a fucking trap. Biggest trap of the week, probably. Giants are 2-0 somehow. I think the Cowboys could squeak a win by with Cooper Rush. They just beat the Bengals. They're coming off that high, but they got to go all the way to New York in that dog shit stadium. And the Cowboys defense has to be like Diggs with a couple touchdowns or something on defense from Jones. Otherwise, Saquon and Slayton, right? I mean, the Giants can win. Dable's got something going. I just don't believe in Daniel Jones. So, I hate this game. Nobody anticipated Dak getting hurt like that. So, the schedule that was made was for a good reason. Clearly, if Dak was playing, they would be like minus 250, and they would have to cover like 6 points. But the Giants are the favorites, so I don't know, man. People might start rocking with the Cowboys soon here, thinking they just beat the Bengals, and they lost to the Bucs, and they didn't play terrible against Tom Brady. If the boys' defense can stop the Giants' offense, the Cowboys just need Zeke and Pollard. Gallup might be back to come out and just do the bare minimum to win. So, aside from all that, Topps fucked up. They didn't put SPs into the fucking Topps Chrome product, so a bunch of people spending thousands of dollars don't get shit. They think they can make it up with silver packs. That's some fucking garbage. Fucking can't wait for Fanatics to just take over everything and do a clean slate in the sports card world. That's all I got. So I'm gonna recap what I might take or have. I don't really like this game. I might take the Cowboys, to be honest, just because it's the Giants and I don't believe in them yet. I still don't. I just don't. The Broncos, Niners. I took the Niners. I think they're gonna win. I think Jimmy G's gonna take this team farther than Lance would have. But I don't think they're gonna be like a Super Bowl contender. I didn't with Lance, and now I don't with Jimmy, but everyone knows that for my rankings on quarterbacks, I said Jimmy G would be like top 15 quarterback if he plays, and Trey Lance will be in like the top 25. Cardinals, Rams, maybe the over just because these games usually are high scoring. Seahawks, Falcons, don't love it. Maybe the over at 42, which people are taking the under on it. So that could be nice to fade the public money on that game, but it looks like no one's really touching this game. If anything, they're touching the Seahawks the Falcons +3. So maybe the Seahawks do win at home. It's going to be loud as fuck. I might like that now that I think about it. 12th man, -2. I could see it happening. A lot of public money on the Falcons with the points. Bucks, Packers, don't love it. I might take the pack or the over, the under in that game. But a lot of other people are thinking about that. Jags, Chargers, like the Jags. I don't like them -7, really. If it was like minus, I could see them winning by a touchdown, whatever the case may be. But it's going to be a good game. I like the Jags-Chargers matchup. That's going to be a good game. That should have been like the game of the night, I think. Jags could hold their own, maybe. Bears-Texans, like I said, I like the Texans. I think Davis Mills has a good game. I think the Texans' defense has a really good game against Justin Fields. He'll probably throw a pick or fumble or 2 picks. He sucks. I'm sorry. A lot of people are starting to admit it in Chicago. I hate to be right because I wanted to see him be good, but he fucking sucks. He's garbage. Tyreek Hill and Waddle had more yards receiving, even through the air, not even just running, than Justin Fields has had all season. That's fucking bad. I don't care if the game was rainy the first game. He threw the ball from across the field farther than he threw the ball against Green Bay. And when he had Mooney, who was breaking free through the down the middle of the field, he was about to be open. He overthrew him by 15 yards. The ball was, he thought he was in college. Just load up, and the two fastest guys are going to be down there. Someone will get it. Again, that was my biggest concern with him. He won't transfer over. It's not Ohio State. You don't have the best guys in the nation catching the ball. He got to figure it the fuck out, man. He's not making those adjustments. He doesn't check his progressions. He's always thinking run because they don't want him throwing the ball. Same reason they had Lance in San Fran being mobile. They don't trust him yet throwing the ball. Can they get better? Sure. Are they going to get better the way they act off the field? Both of them? Probably not. Justin Fields' attitude, too. He doesn't seem like he gives a fuck. He doesn't want to stay on the field in practice. Him and Mooney used to be hanging out all the time after last season. Now they don't hang out. It's just lack of confidence. He's out. I don't see him being a Bear in fucking 3 years. 2. We drafted Cole Kmet over Jalen Hurts, and I was so mad. That's literally when I said I'm done being a Bears fan. You drafted a fucking tight end for Notre Dame. Notre Dame products suck anyways, and Jalen Hurts went after him, and look at what Jalen Hurts is doing, dude. I get it, he's got A.J. Brown, but he was doing better than Fields was without A.J. Brown. The writing was on the walls, man. That was the bad. It was a bad fucking draft. I know it was pace. I get it. I don't know. Commanders, Eagles, whatever you want to call them, Redskins, blah, blah, blah. Kind of like the upset there for the Redskins. I don't know if I like this over-under. I kind of do like 47.5 now, not 50 plus, but I think it's going to be that rivalry game where that's why everyone's taking the under. I believe it. Titans Raiders, like I said, I kind of like the Titans to have that game. They're at home. Derrick Henry needs to get going here, and stop moving laterally and just fucking run that ball down their throats. The Raiders defense will open up holes for him, I believe. And you have Trey Burks and them. Tannehill needs to play well, or Malik Willis will be the starter. So Tannehill has to have a game. Derek Carr kind of has to have a game too. Raiders are a little disappointing. I kind of like this over more than I like the Titans. So let's go off that. I'm actually going to write these down because I want to know. I don't want to keep looking back and forth. So, again, boys, maybe, money line. Niners already took. I'll probably put more on the Niners alone, just in case the Texans fuck me. Cards over, because that game usually goes over between these two teams. Seahawks, Falcons. I'll take the Seahawks. Maybe money line. And then you take the Bucks, Packers. Under on that game. I hate taking unders, but it's going to be a defensive battle, I think, with Tom Brady struggling to find a wide receiver. Might take and Packers points. If it's still there, it might be a PK by that time. I can see the Packers are going to win, I think. Jags, Chargers, I would say -6 if possible. And the over, if Keenan Allen's back, it's a lock to me. Bears, Texans, I took Texans, money line. I like that game. I kind of like the over in that too, because a lot of people don't think the Texans will score, but I think Brandon Cooks has a nice game. I think that Pierce has a nice game. I think Montgomery has a nice game, possibly a touchdown. And I think Fields maybe throws for a touchdown to like Cole Kmet. Eagles game, kind of like what'd I just say? I'm not even going to touch this game. I don't like it at all. It's just a big division rivalry type of game. So I'd like to see the Eagles. I think the Commanders pull off the upset, to be honest, like I said. Or with the points. I would, just to be safe, take the points. Titans win. And the over. Chiefs, Colts, KC, covers. I don't know. This game, I think, didn't the Colts beat them? I thought the Colts had beaten them a couple times before at home when Chiefs were supposed to cover a lot of points. So might be why. I mean, -3 though. I loved that. The over. Maybe Matt Ryan gets it going, or regardless, Jonathan Taylor has 2 touchdowns or so. I think that's a big possibility, and Chiefs over of 50.5 is definitely possible because I see the Chiefs scoring 30+ points. Then you see the Lions Vikings. I don't like this game at all, but I could see the Lions winning. So you might take them on the money line or points. I don't think they blow them out. Panthers, I take them or points. Just making my notes. And that over. Because Jameis and them got to get it going. Michael Thomas was getting going last week. You get Jarvis Landry gets involved and Kamara's back. The Saints are going to look way better on paper if they can put it together in Carolina outside in that dog and heat. That's going to be the big competition. And Baker's looking for that win, man. So I think Carolina, I think Baker gets out of his head this game, and they go 1-2. Jets, Bengals, hate the game in general. Dolphins, Bills. You know what I want is the Bills to win. Covering 4.5 could have been a possibility, but I think this game's a lot closer than people think, and I think the under is a lot closer than people think. So I'm going to say Bills under. I think there's a nice defensive battle there in Miami. It's going to fatigue the offensive players like Diggs and them to be in Miami as well. Unless they're there now, I respect when coaches go down there early, unlike Matt Nagy going to fucking London the day before, and you had to play a game in 20 hours like a moron, idiot. Patriots, Ravens, hate this game in general. I think the Ravens win. I don't know if they cover. I'm gonna say -2.5 though. I like that. I don't love it. Steelers Browns game, hate it. So those are my picks this week, guys. And good luck on fantasy. I'm fucking screwed. So just kind of trying to get by week 3. I got Mike Evans suspended. Gallup's coming back in the league. A couple other guys that are gonna hold me up. But it's what it is. It's luck, man. First 2 weeks have been just bad luck in fantasy for me, just like last year. And then last year, like week 8, I started pumping, but it was too late to make the playoffs. So that's kind of how it's going again in this fucking stupid league.